daughter, I wanted to tell her I'm coming home. I'm writing this letter to my daughter, I wanted to tell her I'm coming home. But now I'm on a mission to represent my nation. But now I'm on a mission to get that victory. So switch on the TV and hope that you see me getting that victory that will make you proud of me. I went out on this mission to represent my nation. I went out on this mission to get that victory. So switch on the TV and hope that you see me getting that victory that will make you proud of me. I'm coming home, home where I belong. Whoa, I'm coming home, home where I belong. Narudi nyumbani, 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 nyumbani. Narudi nyumbani, nyumbani, nyumbani. I have seen many things, been many places, been around the world. I have seen many faces, I've fought many fights. Through the days, through the nights, through the journey, I realize there's nothing better than la familia. There's nothing sweeter or more superior than to know where you were from and represent your home. So when you hear this song, I'm coming home, I'm coming home, home where I belong. Whoa, I'm coming home, home where I belong. Narudi nyumbani, 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 nyumbani. Narudi nyumbani, nyumbani, nyumbani. Narudi nyumbani, 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 nyumbani. Narudi nyumbani, nyumbani, nyumbani. Hey, feels good to be home. Check me out up in the horizon. Coming home, I am coming home. Check me out up in the horizon. Coming home, I am coming home. Narudi nyumbani, 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 nyumbani. Narudi nyumbani, 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 nyumbani. Narudi nyumbani, 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 nyumbani. Narudi nyumbani, nyumbani, nyumbani. To get that victory, so switch on the TV and hope that you see me getting that victory that will make you proud of me. I went out on this mission to represent my nation. I went out on this mission to get that victory, so switch on the TV and hope that you see me getting that victory that will make you proud of me. I'm coming home, home where I belong. Whoa, I'm coming home, home where I belong. Narudi nyumbani. nyumbani, 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 narudi nyumbani, nyumbani, nyumbani. I have seen many things, been many places, been around the world. I have seen many faces, I've fought many fights, through the days, through the nights, through the journey. I realize there's nothing better than la familia. There's nothing sweeter or more superior than to know where you were from and represent your home. So when you hear this song, I'm coming home, I'm coming home, home where I belong. Oh, I'm coming home, home where I belong. Narudi nyumbani, 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 narudi nyumbani, 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 narudi nyumbani, 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 narudi nyumbani, nyumbani, nyumbani. Feels good to be home. Check me out, up in the horizon. Coming home, I am coming home. Check me out, up in the horizon. Coming home, I am coming home. Narudi nyumbani, 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 narudi nyumbani,
wanashangaa kuna stress na kuanga naye naishi sansi na kesi mahakamani au deni za majirani niko fresh ndenda ndani oh yeah, ogopa Mungu pekee wanadamu kija kumtafash naomba Mungu mtete maneno yao yasiniumize mfanye sugu wewe wakifurahi kumtisha naomba nisitetemeke. Siamini jodu vile naishi life ni ngumu kuamini hisi ndoto. Sijui kesho vile itakaa kwa hivyo leo nitaifanya kaa kidogo wairidhishi roho. Yani sana, tena sana hata wale wananichukia wananiheshimu bramisi kidogo. Si baba hiki nikisikia mkiongea nazidi kuwapa mimi kisogo. Na kama saa sisimami, sitaki life niache matani mtani. Mwenyezi mchungie familia yangu na pia za wale wote sauti yangu wanaisikia. Tupe afya nzuri na maisha matamu. Barabara zetu zinyooke waone mfalme ni wewe. Wakupewa shangwe ni wewe. Wakupewa shangwe ni wewe. Hey! Na ogopa Mungu pekee wanadamu kija kumtafash naomba Mungu mtete maneno yao yasiniumize mfanye sugu wewe wakifurahi kumtisha naomba nisitetemeke. I pray me and my people, we never die. Say we live forever, and forever we multiply. And wherever we go, nini waneza nisho, takasi na kitu, uko na mimi kila siku, wewe pekee na ogopa Mungu pekee. Wanadamu kija kumtafash naomba Mungu mtete, maneno yao yasiniumize mfanye sugu wewe, wakifurahi kumtisha naomba nisitetemeke. So I don't feel nobody but you. I know you love me, nisitetemeke. One for my one and only. Another one for my one and only. Another classic. We got another one. We got another one. Hey, I feel love. So dope. The shit's key. I'm addicted to love. Hey. Can you guess what mood I'm in? Need you like my oxygen. Let's go somewhere we can be, just you and me, some privacy. When you say my name, spaceship, rocket, paper plane, higher than I've ever been. Oh, Rasta never felt this way. Oh no, it's true. See, I'm in the nani do. Kawaida me not playing it cool. Kawaida me not playing it cool, but I'm so foolish when it comes to you. When it comes to you, you lift me up anytime I'm down. Every time you're around me, I feel love, baby. I'm addicted to you. Lift me up anytime I'm down. Every time you're around me, I feel love, baby. I'm addicted to loving you. Fire, fire, baby. Fire, baby. Yeah, siku plan kugo this deep, kufika hii stage. Skwangi mtu neka feelings zangu kwa display, but kwa future naona party na wedding cake. Who knew kitu perfect inaweza happen by mistake? I be the realest, skudanganyi, but you can't be the realest bila honey. Kujiambia loneliness never killed a G, na compensate na chain mingi kama Mr. T. Yeah. Unaweza guess ile muda nasikia tutafute beach mali cool again, tukapigwe na Caprice kama do the again. Please never leave again. Well, lift me up anytime I'm down. Every time you're around me, I feel love, baby. I'm addicted to you. Lift me up anytime I'm down. Every time you're around me, I feel love, baby. I'm addicted to loving you. It's true. See, I'm in the villa, nani do. Kawaida me not playing it cool. Kawaida me not playing it cool, but I'm so foolish when it comes to you. When it comes to you, you lift me up anytime I'm down. Every time you're around me, I feel love, baby. I'm addicted to you. Lift me up anytime I'm down. Every time you're around me, I feel love, baby. I'm addicted to love.
Steady rocking on the midnight train. Steady rocking on the midnight train. Oh Lord, steady rocking on the midnight train. To Zion, to Zion. Hii maisha ni safari, tunapita kama moshi, na kabla tuzame mchangani kuna kushinda na kufeli. Oh, inabidi ujijue tofauti ya mwalimu na mwanafunzi ni ujuzi na ujuaji. Oh, it's unbelievable that we make it this far. Undeniable, we see the promised land from afar, and it's so beautiful. No, they can't touch the fire, and you know it's not in vain. Steady tripping through the pain. Oh, man. Steady rocking on the midnight train. Steady rocking on the midnight train. Oh Lord, steady rocking on the midnight train. Steady rocking on the midnight Zion, on the midnight Zion, Zion.
Siku zazidi badilika, mengi yazidi kunipita jama. Oh no, maji yalipozidi unga, hawakudhani tutafika. It's unbelievable that we made it this far. Undeniable to see the promised land from afar. So beautiful, they gon' know who we are. They keep
Miaka 20 safari anza ya kutuunganisha kama Wakenya. Twende tukiuke, let's go beyond, let's go beyond, let's go beyond. Mimi na wewe tukikundi, kazi nzuri ya kujivunia. Let's go beyond, let's go beyond. Kwa juhudi na matumaini, twaelekea kesho pamoja. Twende tukiuke, Safaricom.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this very special virtual event from wherever you're tuning in from. We are celebrating a unique partnership today that brings together several companies from the private sector and, of course, Nakuru County in a collaboration that will change the way Nakuru residents access medical services and how doctors in Nakuru provide medical services to the residents. My name is Brian Masonga from the PR and Communications team here at Safaricom, and I'll be guiding us through today's program, and it's an absolute honor to do so, especially for a solution that we hope will eventually touch and transform millions of lives, starting with the community in Nakuru, who will be the first to pilot this digital solution, and then covering the entire country. Before we continue any further, it's only right that we dedicate the event to our creator. So I'll invite Athman Ahmed, our colleague from the resources team here at Safaricom, and he'll be followed by Willie Ngumi from GSMA. And the two gentlemen will be kicking us off with some prayers. Athman?
Thank you very much, Brian, and good morning, everyone. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ramadan Kareem to everyone in this call, brothers and sisters. We are happy and honored to be here today. And it's like what Brian has said, it's good to put our God first. So I'm going to pray in Arabic and in English just to appreciate our Almighty God. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahmanir Rahim. Malik Yawmiddin. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful, praise be to Allah, Lord of the worlds, the most gracious, the most merciful, Master of the day of judgment. It is you we worship, and upon you we call for help. Guide us to the straight path, the path of those who you have blessed, not of those against whom there is anger, not of those who are misguided. Ameen, Ameen, Ameen. Thank you very much.
Amen. Thank you, Athman. Willie, over to you.
Yeah, let us pray. Father, in Jesus' name, we want to thank you for this beautiful morning you've given to us. Thank you for the gift of life and an opportunity to gather together. We thank you for this launch that is before us. We pray that you may guide each one of us and all the organizations involved, that it may be successful to the glory and honor of your name, that it may have impact in people's health and in people's lives and in their health, Lord. So we thank you and be with us. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Athman and Willie, for dedicating the session to the Lord. Now, we all know that technology has become such a vital component of how millions of people access services such as healthcare, and the ability to store, share, and analyze health information is directly tied to improved technology. The use of technology services provides capabilities and patients and provides access to patients while improving the quality of life for some patients and even saving the lives of others. And we're even moving moving into an era where physicians can see patients remotely and accurately diagnose a patient's problems, even in the most rural areas, through what is known as telemedicine. And we've progressed from using technology just to improve patient care, but to improve the healthcare industry as a whole, and of course, impacting our society as a whole. So today we get to hear how this latest solution that we'll be talking about will impact the people of Nakuru as we prepare it to reach even more people across the country in the coming months. And we'll be hearing from several speakers today about the solution and how it will change lives, including representatives from Safaricom and the Nakuru County government, as well as representatives from the Afya Moja Consortium and the GSMA as well. Just a few house rules as we kick off. For the speakers and those who have joined us as panelists, remember to keep your mic on mute when not speaking. For the rest of us, we want to hear from you, and there are two ways to do that. Through the Q&A section, which, as the name suggests, is for questions, and we'll have a Q&A session at the end, but please feel free to drop your question at any time as the session goes on. We also have the comment section for any chats you want to post. When using the comments, remember the comment section, remember to select all panelists and attendees so that we can all see your chats. We also have the subtitles, as you have noticed, for our brothers and sisters who have hearing impairments. If you feel like it's going to be a distraction, you can turn it off by clicking at the bottom of your screen. You will see tab written live transcript. If you click it, it will give you an option of switching it off. If you're joining us from YouTube, feel free to post your chats and questions on the comment section. And I see some of you have already started posting chats on YouTube as well. So karibuni sana. So to kick us off with some opening remarks about why Safaricom is investing in a health solution and in healthcare in general is none other than a lovely lady who heads the department under which the team that has worked with all the other partners to bring this solution to life is. Please join me in welcoming Karen Bathia, who is the head of Safaricom Sustainable Business and Social Impact. Good morning, Karen.
Good morning, Brian. Good morning, everyone. I'm happy this morning to be here with you to deliver the speech by our Chief of Corporate Affairs, Stephen Chege, during the launch of Afya Moja. Our Nakuru County partners, led by Dr. Solomon Sirma, Chief Officer Medical Services, our other partners within the Afya Moja Consortium, representatives from GSMA, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Allow me to start by passing our sincere condolences on behalf of the CEO and the entire Safaricom family to our partners from Nakuru County for the recent passing of their Chief Officer of Health, Samuel Kungori, who had been instrumental in putting together the pilot that we're launching today. I believe that there is no better way of honoring his life and work than by ensuring that this partnership is successful so that we can replicate it across the country. Our partnership with Nakuru County in healthcare is not something new. Through the CSR arm of Safaricom Foundation, in which Steve happens to be a trustee, we have made various health interventions at different facilities in the county. Most notably, we equipped the Nakuru County Referral Hospital with a dialysis machine in 2018. We also equipped and renovated our health centers of other health centers in this county, including the Molo South Dispensary, Wangu Dispensary, Losibil Dispensary, among others. Last year, we partnered with the county to equip health workers with PPEs as part of our COVID-19 response. We are here today again to discuss matters healthcare, not from a CSR perspective, but from a technology angle. Before we do that, let me just talk about why Safaricom would be interested in an area such as health. At Safaricom, our vision is to be a purpose-led technology company, and these two words, purpose-led and technology, are what drives us to live our purpose of transforming lives. We believe that technology gives us the power to drive change, and one of the ways we are driving this change is through our Technology for Development unit. This unit designs, co-creates, and develops products and services that deliver social impact in health, education, agriculture, and other areas aligned to the Sustainable Development Goals. The way they do this is by focusing on three things: societal problems, business opportunities, and solutions. The key components are identifying a pressing societal problem, creating a shared value model to address this issue together with the right partners, and then ultimately handing over the solution to the revenue generating side of the business. You may have heard about some of these award-winning solutions like DigiFarm, which is a service that offers farmers convenient, one-stop access to quality farm inputs at discounted prices, input loans, learning content on farming, as well as access to market. In education, a good example is Shupavu 291, which is a platform that provides comprehensive and quality revision materials for primary and secondary students via SMS and web. We also have several examples in healthcare, which is what has brought us together today. As you are aware, even before COVID-19 struck, the medical sector was already one of the most underserved markets in Africa. For example, the doctor-to-patient ratio in Kenya is 17,000 patients to one doctor, well below the World Health Organization's recommendation of one doctor for every 1,000 patients. A survey by the Kenya Medical Practitioners, Pharmacists and Dentists Union found that Kenya produces 600 doctors every year and has about 4,000 doctors in the public sector, but the number drops by the month as doctors resign to look for opportunities in other fields. On a light note, in fact, Dr. Solomon Sirma, Chief Officer Medical Services, can attest to this and is an example of a doctor who is an example of doctors who are joining other fields. Less than 10% of the patients in this country have access to health insurance, and 9 out of 10 payments for health services are unplanned emergencies. What is lacking in our health sector today is access, but it also means we have an opportunity to transform this sector, and this what we have been trying to do through the Technology for Development Unit. One of the best examples we usually give is Mtiba, which has close to 5 million users and enables people to save, send, receive, and pay for medical treatment through a mobile health wallet on their phone. Mtiba was born through a partnership between various players, including Pharmaccess, Safaricom, and CarePay Limited, and is also supporting the drive for universal health coverage in Africa. We have other examples of what we've done under healthcare, including Safiri Smart, which is a disease surveillance and awareness platform on global outbreaks and epidemics. This was done in partnership with Ministry of Health and Korea Telecom. One more example is Fafanuka, an SMS and USSD service powered by Safaricom in partnership with Ministry of Health and the Non-Communicable Diseases Alliance of Kenya, which aims to address the information gap on prevention, management, and care of non-communicable diseases. If you look at all the examples we have given, whether in healthcare, education, or agriculture, one of the main things that comes out is partnerships. This is because we know at Safaricom, we are not experts in these sectors, but what we are good at is providing a platform, or what our late CEO Bob Colimo used to call a raft on which other partners can build these solutions. This commitment to partnership and using our platform to transform lives is why we are here today. We have partnered with various entities to create the Afya Moja platform, which will try and address the issues of portability of medical records. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a challenge in this country when it comes to accessing patient medical records. Health centers themselves have a challenge of storing these records because of a lack of an integrated system where patients can access their medical history. I'm sure some of you have had the experience of having to answer or fill the same questions every time you go to the hospital, even when it's your regular facility. Yes, it is important for patients and hospitals to access reliable health records if they are to provide quality healthcare. Other than helping to reduce costs for patients, accessing records and medical background will help identify patients' needs and enable health workers to attend to them effectively. This is why today we are happy to be partnering with Nakuru County to launch the Afya Moja pilot, which will supplement the county's electronic medical records by storing the information in an interoperable system. Afya Moja is a simple, mobile-based, digital health passport that receives and securely stores patient information from a participating health provider, granting patients ownership and access to a copy of their own health information with the ability to share it with trusted health providers on the platform. What we aim to do through Afya Moja is to make these records portable so that patients and health facilities can access them anytime they need them. We'll be focusing on diabetic patients during the initial stages of this pilot as we move on to other patients with other chronic diseases. We have targeted 8 health facilities in partnership with the county government for the rollout and implementation of Afya Moja, and I'll allow my fellow speakers to talk more about the specifics of how the solution will work. Ladies and gentlemen, let me conclude by saying that there's an urgent need to stop innovating reactively by thinking that we can use the insights we already have to build transformative solutions. There are technologies out there looking for problems to solve, which is a wrong way to approach innovating for social good. We would like to innovate to address a real, predictable, or emerging issue. We have also noticed that in the innovation space, it is critical to collaborate with the key specialists in the respective ecosystems for insights. It is through purpose-led partnerships like what we're launching here today that we will continue to transform lives. With those remarks, I would like to thank you for your attention. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Karen, for those remarks that you've made on behalf of Steve, and for that overview of what the Technology for Development arm of Safaricom has done and continues to do. And a reminder that we need to innovate reactively by thinking about how we can use the insights we already have and partnerships to build transformative solutions and continue to transform lives, just like we aim to do with Afya Moja. Remember to post your questions on the Q&A platform, and for those on YouTube, please use the comment section on YouTube to post your questions. We also have the chat functionality for those on Zoom, and if you want to post any comments as well. Now, as you've heard from Karen, Afya Moja has been created by a consortium of partners, which includes Safaricom, Savannah Informatics Limited, GSMA, and IntelliSoft Consulting Limited. We now want to hear from a representative of the consortium, and we'll start with Steve Wanye, who is the Director of Biomedical Informatics at IntelliSoft Consulting Limited, and also happens to be the co-founder and Director of Digital Health Solutions Research and Innovation team. Karibu sana, Steve.
Thank you very much, Brian. Good morning, everyone, and good afternoon for those who are joining us from other parts of the world. It gives me great pleasure this morning to be part of this really significant milestone, as has been mentioned by Karen and also in the introductions made by Brian. I think we all agree with a lot of the comments that Karen has made about healthcare, where healthcare has reached, where we are currently, the current challenges that we are all going through that have really taken us out of our comfort zones in terms of what we've always taken for granted and what we've done over the years without really thinking twice about it. And so this event today and the progress we have made so far based on this partnership called Afya Moja is really significant in many respects. And I'm really happy to be representing Afya Moja, which, as been mentioned before, is a consortium of partners in the private sector, working very closely with government, but also with the international community in the health sector. So please allow me to read a short presentation, and again, all protocols observed. I'll begin. So on behalf of the Afya Moja Consortium, which comprises of Safaricom, GSMA, Savannah Informatics, and IntelliSoft, I would like to join Karen, Brian, and the other speakers to once again welcome each one of you who has joined this event today. We're extremely grateful that you have set aside all other very important activities in your day to spend your time with us this morning or this afternoon. Today's event is indeed a significant milestone in the history of healthcare in Kenya, and also across the region, across the continent, and across the world as well, given that healthcare is really very tightly connected. It is a day that marks the beginning of a transformative experience in healthcare services. It's a day that will enable clients and patients and all the other stakeholders in healthcare, including providers, government, local and international partners, to more conveniently and affordably access and deliver quality personalized healthcare services. With Afya Moja as a digital health platform, it will intuitively support clinicians to more efficiently and effectively deliver healthcare services. So at its core, Afya Moja will not only reinforce the sanctity of patient-provider confidentiality that we all know is really critical in providing good care in terms of health and wellness, but it will more effectively help operationalize each one of those very unique and special relationships between a provider and the patient or client. The Afya Moja Digital Health Passport is deliberately designed to practically serve the health and wellness needs and interests of every user who signs up to use it. By every user, we mean that anyone who needs to access healthcare services and wellness services should be able to do that wherever they are and whenever they want it or need it. And they should also be able to do that in an affordable, convenient manner and using the resources available to them at that point. So as you will experience today and in the discussions that will come after this, you realize that it's very easy to use, to access and use Afya Moja services. We have designed Afya Moja as a technology to make it very intuitive, very user-friendly, and very easy to use. And we did that through our design and co-creation process, thinking about who we are serving, who will most benefit from this service, and how they can easily and very intuitively access this service. So basically, for healthcare providers, upon sign up on the platform, they'll be able, based on their patient's consent, access every health event of their patients and clients along their healthcare journey, wherever they have received or have a footprint of healthcare services. To the government, they'll also be able to provide public healthcare services very easily and very efficiently as well. They'll have a better view and access to surveillance information about the state of healthcare at any one point. And this is very closely linked with the government's healthcare agenda, which we all know is driven by the UHC framework, the Universal Healthcare framework, and that also links to the Sustainable Development Goal number 3, which seeks to promote health and well-being of all the citizens of the world. Additionally, Afya Moja is also built and informed very strongly by Government of Kenya's standards and guidelines that are relevant to health informatics and also to health data. So we're very cognizant of the fact that for such a service that is going to serve citizens at a national level, and that we're hoping will also go beyond Kenya and find need and value beyond our borders, that it conforms to the best practices, and beyond just conforming to best practices, actually completely complies and adheres to standards and guidelines that have been set by the public health authorities, technology authorities, governments, and international bodies that regulate healthcare. We all know how important that is, especially now that we're all facing this current COVID-19 pandemic. So people have asked, how different is Afya Moja? So a couple of things make Afya Moja different, and different in the sense of not necessarily inventive or in a way that has not been done before, but in a way that actually adds value to the ecosystem. So we believe, and as Karen has emphasized, one of the unique value propositions or offerings of Afya Moja is that it's really based on a very, very strong foundation of partnerships, which you'd like to think of as elite partnerships. Healthcare is complex, and we all know that to solve certain problems that we've been experiencing in healthcare, particularly one of ensuring that quality healthcare information is available to all those who need to access it to make certain critical decisions, it requires very, very strong partnerships. Partnerships involve strong leadership and governance, which we have seen demonstrated by our government, both at the national level and also at the county levels. But beyond that, it also means that you need partnerships that is based on certain strengths that are able to deliver that product. Digital health, which is now the current term that is used to refer to ICT in healthcare, is no longer a nice to have. It's really moved away from those ICT guys who sit in the basement just managing health records to a critical tool that is required to deliver healthcare services by healthcare providers. We all know about the power of technology to provide decision support to clinicians. so they can actually make good decisions. They can access a patient's profile very, very easily, and they can actually look at the data they need to look at and health information to make certain decisions. But even to patients, to you and I, ordinary mwananchi, we make decisions about our health every day without thinking about it. You're always wondering, where can I get good care? Where can I get quality healthcare services that I can actually afford? So those mundane decisions that we make on a daily basis eventually affect our health in a very significant way. And I think just to mention again that with the current health challenges we're all going through in terms of the current COVID-19 pandemic, I think this is a lot more clearer if it wasn't for some of us. A lot of the things that we've done quite easily, we've been able to access certain social services, public services. Now all of a sudden we can't. All of a sudden we need to rely on technology and devices and data to make decisions. You want to know if I fall sick, where do I go? How much do I need to have with me? What is the reputation of that health facility in terms of providing services? If you're looking at this from a perspective of government and all the healthcare programs they run, government has a legal responsibility to provide the best high quality services, healthcare services that they can. So they're always wondering about where is the biggest burden of disease? What diseases are we dealing with in the country? They have surveillance systems that they set up all over the place, but those surveillance systems are only as good as if they can provide information back to decision makers on a timely basis. The information and data has to be accurate, has to be believable and actionable. So for that reason, Afya Moja is not coming and claiming to be a silver bullet that's going to solve everything, but we are very critically looking at where the gaps are, what's not working well, and those are the gaps that we are filling through this partnership. So the second other reason that we think makes Afya Moja really attractive and also able to provide value to what's been done by a lot of you who are on this call today is really high quality engineering. The reason why I think this is important is, again, as I mentioned earlier, digital health has moved away from the days where ICT was used to manage health records and really just used for reporting. And the fact that it has moved away from that, the value of ICT in healthcare, otherwise known as digital health, is so important that how ICT products are designed, the engineering of that needs to be extremely high quality. It needs to be done as well as other health interventions, medical devices are done. It's gotten to a point where there's so much reliance on digital health that its engineering needs to be done by people who are highly qualified. It needs to be auditable, and it needs to be, people need to appreciate that it can actually, if not done well, it can lead to death. And so for that reason, within the Afya Moja Consortium, the core teams that are part of this partnership have demonstrated and proven experience and expertise in developing these systems and implementing them, not just in Kenya, but continentally and also globally, and working with leading organizations, both in government and also government partners as well. And lastly, there's an issue about sustainability that we're always talking about. Most of us, especially those maintain them over long duration. Partnerships with international organizations will always be there, and they're highly appreciated, and they're necessary. And going from global health to local health, and from local health to global health, also means that the local capacity needs to be equally competent. And so we pride ourselves also, I think, with this initiative that that we are building that, and we are contributing to other efforts, obviously, that are going on around us, because that's really critical. Secondly, and for me at a personal level, this is a point that I'm really grateful to Safaricom for. Really thinking about how will this be sustained? Who's going to pay for it? Business modeling. I think we all shy away from thinking about this in a very direct manner, and I think it has a lot to do with the philosophy and the history of healthcare, which has a humanitarian aspect to it. But I think it's high time that I think, as Kenyans, as the people who are trying to solve our own problems, we really think about this and solve it directly. And as I conclude, I just want to mention that I think it's all clear to us that the dawn of a new era is here with us. We have seen and we continue to experience an evolution and maturation of healthcare, technology, science of data, and more importantly, individual awareness and literacy about one's own health and wellness. We've also seen demystification of healthcare and increasing evidence promoting stronger engagement between clients, patients, and their providers, particularly informed by better understanding of social determinants of health. If there was any doubt about the central role of technology, the COVID pandemic has disrupted our comfort zones, infiltrated our daily practices that we have always gone about without thinking twice about, and practically put technology as a social utility that doesn't discriminate. This new era in healthcare is one of partnership, and the master core partnership is one of the patient and provider. Afya Moja is your enabler of that partnership. And so finally, I take this opportunity to thank each one of you and the Afya Moja partners, Nakuru County, Government of Kenya, for the camaraderie and achieving this significant milestone. For Nakuru County, for warmly welcoming and embracing Afya Moja and proactively supporting the critically important foundational efforts to effective implementation. Government of Kenya for the visionary leadership and governance, establishing and continuously optimizing the enabling environment necessary for sustainable success of homegrown initiatives such as Afya Moja. Thank you very much, and I wish each one of you an enjoyable experience for the rest of this launch event. Over to you, Brian.
Thank you so much, Steve, for the detailed speech about how patients, doctors, and the county, both county and national governments can benefit from the Afya Moja platform, and how the solution is looking to fill gaps. Like you said, it's not a magic bullet that will solve all the problems, but it is looking to fill the gaps that exist, which speaks to what Karen was talking about when she said that we should use insights to build solutions to problems that we already have, instead of building solutions and then looking for problems that the solutions can solve. And I like the way you're already thinking about how we can go beyond Kenya, because here at Safaricom we like to say twende to kiuke. Let's go beyond, and it's good that the partnership is already thinking about how we can go beyond, first beyond Nakuru, and then eventually, of course, beyond Kenya. Remember to post questions and comments on the available platforms. We have the Q&A and chat functionalities on Zoom, and live chat section on YouTube. I see already some of you are posting your questions, so please keep them coming. We will have a Q&A session at the tail end. And when posting on the Zoom chat, remember to select all panelists and attendees so that we can all see your comments and chats. Before we listen to our next speaker, I just want us to watch a short video showing how doctors will benefit from Afya Moja and how they can sign up. Let's have a look.
Delivery of evidence-based, quality, efficient, and effective care requires access to complete and quality patient data when needed. Health data is the glue that strengthens and binds a patient and provider relationship and interaction to improve the patient's health outcomes and the provider's efficiency and effectiveness. It takes collaboration and effective communication to create a functional healthcare system, and it requires a robust, patient-centered, data-driven system to sustain such achievements. Enrich your patient's health. Be a part of Afya Moja. Sign up using your Google account. Read and accept the terms and conditions, then fill in your information. Once approved, you can now search for a patient using their mobile phone number. On entering a correct code, the patient visit can begin, allowing you access to more patient information during the visit. The patient can simply dial *552# to access the service.
All right, the doctors who are with us, now you have it. That is how you can sign up for Afya Moja and start transforming the way you deliver healthcare to your patients. Our next speaker is the Senior Advocacy Manager, Digital Identity at GSMA. For those who don't know GSMA or may never have heard of it, it's an industry organization that represents the interests of mobile network operators worldwide, and they are among the partners who came on board for Afya Moja. And Willie Ngumi, who, like I said, is the Senior Advocacy Manager, Digital Identity, will be talking to us about their role in this partnership. Karibu sana, Willie.
Okay, thank you very much, Brian. Distinguished guests and those watching online, we welcome you. It's a pleasure to be here. As you mentioned, I work at the GSMA, the Mobile for Development team, and I thought it's good to give a quick background on the GSMA. GSMA has represented the interest of mobile operators worldwide for more than 30 years now. And it unites more than 750 global mobile operators and almost 400 companies in the broader ecosystem with the aim of cohesive mobile services across the world. The Mobile for Development team that I work in drives innovation in technology to help reduce inequalities in our world, and so far has impacted over 68.7 million lives, especially underserved communities, through various programs touching on digital inclusion, connected women, connected society, mobile money services, mobile utilities, the health space, agriculture space, and also accelerating innovations that are designed to impact positively on the lives of people. So I thought it was good to review why mobile will continue to play a key role in bridging the digital divide and enabling digital inclusion. In Sub-Saharan Africa, as of 2019, there were over 477 million mobile subscribers, or about 45% mobile penetration for the population. And about half of them, or 272 million, have access to the internet through mobile, showing that mobile is becoming even more ubiquitous or available widely, and approximately 44% smartphone penetration in the region. In Kenya specifically, we actually now at about 57 million mobile subscriptions, of which about 30.52 have access to mobile money, and about 41.45 million have access to data and internet, according to the Communications Authority. So this unprecedented access to mobile technology and the growing number of innovative mobile-based solutions and interventions has led to significantly increased digital inclusion through access to internet, which of course previously required more expensive devices with a laptop or a desktop. So mobile is enabling more and more people to be able to access resources through the internet and develop themselves. Additionally, mobile has enabled increased financial inclusion through innovative financial services, mobile money being one of the most impactful, enabling access both to business services as well as payment services, as well as remittances for families. So mobile is definitely having a huge impact on the lives of people. It also has enabled increased access to life-changing information for patients, farmers, students in the education sector, and even more. Now, mobile is also playing an increased role in access to government services, or what we call government-to-person services, enabling governments to gradually achieve their e-government agendas. And services have included, tax services for county governments, parking services, licensing services, and even at a broader perspective, social protection services being able to be delivered in a more efficient and transparent manner. So the launch of Afya Moja partnership with Nakuru County today also highlights the growing role and importance of public-private partnerships in achieving efficient and scalable services to citizens. Many of us know the saying that says, if you want to go fast, you go alone, but if you want to go far, you go together. So partnerships are key for government and private sector to be able to accelerate innovations and solutions to deliver results and impact in a sustainable manner and at scale. Partnerships with mobile operators will also play a key role in enhancing identification and authentication for digital services, often referred to as digital identity, as the mobile phone, and more specifically the mobile number, is becoming continuously relied on for verification on authentication through mechanisms such as one-time passwords or access notifications. Those with access to banking services will normally get a notification, and sometimes access to financial services will require a one-time password that is linked to the identity behind the SIM card. So mobile operators will continue to play a key role in enabling the digital ecosystem by providing a level of trust as to who is accessing services. Afya Moja is also an illustration of such capabilities, enabling patients to securely share information and to access personalized information and health information, and empowering them to share this information with their health providers for improved health outcomes. I thought to share a personal experience. In 2006, I was diagnosed with tuberculosis, but on reflection, I had actually had it for a period of about 2 years. But during that period of 2 years, I would visit different hospitals. As is typical with patients, we tend to be very migratory. And I was not receiving proper care because there was no linkage between one hospital visit and the next. And what changed is at one point when I visited a facility for the second time, the same doctor that saw me the first time was the one seeing me this other time and recognized me, and also the fact that I had been treated before, but the symptoms had not cleared. So that led to further investigation and identifying tuberculosis, for which I was treated. And that, for me, demonstrates the value and the purpose of having patient data available at the point of care, because patients can be quite nomadic. But if you're able to travel with your health information, then the doctor you're visiting doesn't have to see you for the first time. They're able to access adequate patient history that is critical at the point of care, so that they're able to provide improved quality of care, improved diagnosis and investigation, leading to positive health outcomes. So Afya Moja is an exciting opportunity that the GSMA is supporting, and we are looking forward to results and being able to share the outcomes of this pilot and even opportunities for scale. The GSMA's Digital Identity Program's mission is to explore and advance the various roles that mobile operators could play in strengthening digital ID ecosystems and unlocking access to life-enhancing digital services. Our support and engagement in this project and pilot is enabled by funding from the Foreign Commonwealth Development Office, FCDO, from the government of the United Kingdom. And we look forward to a successful pilot and together generating further evidence of the role of digital technologies in improving health outcomes and enabling digital health services. So we are excited about this, and we wish to congratulate Safaricom and Afya Moja Consortium partners, Intellisoft Consulting and Savannah Informatics Limited, for partnering with Nakuru County. And as mentioned, we look forward to being able to demonstrate that this has a significant impact for health providers and especially for the patient. It's an opportunity to have patient-centric health services that focus on the patient, and at the point of care, doctors are able to access adequate, timely, and accurate information about the patient in order to improve the level of care that the patient receives. And so with that, I wish to thank you and hand over back to Brian.
Thank you so much, Willie. And like you've said, partnerships are key if you want to continue delivering with impact and scale. Really appreciate the work that GSMA is doing in bringing together crucial partners, both in the mobile operators and even in the private sector, and other key stakeholders, and coming up with solutions that really transform the lives of communities and of people. Up next, we'll hear from the Nakuru County team, who are among the first to be rolling out this solution on a pilot basis, as we prepare to launch it even further. And to give us their perspective on how this solution will benefit the residents of Nakuru is Dr. Solomon Sirma, Chief Officer Medical Services, Nakuru County. Daktari, if you are with us, karibu sana, confirm that you can hear us. All right, I think if Dr. Sirma is not available to join, Dr. Osore, I think you are also on standby to give us your thoughts. If you can go ahead and deliver the remarks. Thank you.
First and foremost, I really want to congratulate Afya Moja Consortium for such a bold step in launching this digital platform. For us, really, this is a step forward. But probably before I go very far, our chief officer actually was trying to join, but there could be a challenge in terms of him joining. I hope he'll be able to do that immediately so that he can give the formal remarks representing the department. But for us, actually, as a department, we really value partnership. And more so, we are looking at the area you're going to address, because the issue of access to information to be able to make decisions, I think is very critical, and using technology for that matter, so that service delivery actually becomes more efficient. We offer quality services. And I think focusing on the patient side is really a milestone, because Willie has clearly mentioned the challenges he faced, him as a living example, and many other Kenyans face the same. I'm looking at many of our patients, like the key area you want to focus in on chronic illness, on diabetes, even knowing the dose of insulin a client is on. When the client moves from one place to the other, how do you continuity of care? I think is very critical. And so for us as a county department, we are putting in a lot of investment in the digital area in terms of be able, so that we can build up on ourselves the 7 building blocks of health, whereby we look at the human resource, we look at data informatics, medical products, and information is very critical, which is cross-cutting, so that our health workers actually, if they can be able to access the information and be able to make the right decisions, then they'll offer better care for our patients, and the patients also will be happy. And so when the patient really also takes charge of their care, it really comes in, because for us, we say we should be able to provide services that are also which are compliant to the client's expectation, so that also they be able to access services, and so that actually they live healthy lifestyles. So I really want to congratulate you on this launch. You're part of the partnership that we've been having. We've been working very closely with the national government on the same. We're working with the USAID partners on electronic health records, and we actually are rolling out these processes in terms of our health facilities, so that they actually are able to be compliant. And we look at that aspect where the client also is empowered from the other end, so that actually our service providers on the ground are able to make the right decisions and for continuity of service. And I think that will go a long way in making us more efficient to offer better quality services to our patients on the ground. And so we are really looking forward to partnering together, walk this journey together in terms of the digital platform, and offer better services to wananchi. And I think this is the hallmark of it. We know the health sector is not adequately funded, but we know with partners coming in, we'll be able to put whatever we have in one basket, and through that, we'll be able to deliver on the agenda. And we believe in planning together, having a co-created work plan, co-implementation, and a common monitoring and evaluation plan also. And so that goes a long way in making sure that we deliver on our health agenda, ably guided by our health policy, strategic plan, and even our annual work plan, which we do on an annual basis, and we capture that there. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Osore. Dr. Osore is, of course, the County Director in charge of administration and planning in Nakuru County. And he has just given us an overview of some of the other areas that Nakuru are focusing as far as health is concerned. We'll try and give Dr. Sirma, who is the Chief Officer of Medical Services in Nakuru, to see if he's finally able to join. Dr. Sirma, are you with us?
Hi. Morning.
Good morning, Dr. Sirma. Please go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much. The chief guest, Safaricom, Afya Moja, partners, present, stakeholders, and all protocols observed, and say good morning, and I welcome you all to this virtual location. I'll give a brief overview of automation projects implementation in Nakuru. I should say that various health facilities are projecting serious software implementation with the intention of promoting automation in all health services in Nakuru County. Majority of the facilities are supported by F5, around 7 facilities, and 7 are piloting the project, while the remaining 12, which entail level 1 and 2, are supported by USAID. The software in the facility is currently semi-autonomous, therefore data is not shared electronically. Hence the need to paperwork to be done. The county administrative automation process. We, as the health department, have identified 4 facilities supported by the USAID for the first phase, which include the PGH, and we're optimistic that USAID will support 3 other karaoke and so in sub-county hospital. We've been able to supply computing devices as well as networking equipment, and we are yet to receive the final batch that's coming very soon. The administration, under the leadership of His Excellency, the Governor Lee Kinyanjui, also intends to launch the installation of EMR in selected sites. Further, we have embarked on identifying some of the areas which will seek help from partners to bridge the gap as EMR implementation progresses. The Department of Health, with support from partners and various stakeholders, endeavors to automate health services in all public health facilities across the county, and in future to cover even private facility for ease of referrals and coordination. We endeavor to keep Nakuru a healthy county. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sima, for those remarks, and thank you for updating us on some of the initiatives that Nakuru County is doing under health and the hospitals where Afya Moja pilot will start. Looking forward to really seeing Afya Moja taking off. We want to go into the Q&A session, but before we do that, we'll just watch this short video about how you can sign up for Afya Moja and how it will benefit you as patients.
Effective communication is a crucial component in all the steps of the healthcare process. Access to accurate and timely patient information such as previous diagnosis, prescriptions, existing conditions, and allergies to improve patient diagnosis and outcome of care. Afya Moja is a new mobile digital platform enabling secure, confidential, and paperless exchange of patient information between the patient and different health providers at the click of a button, while saving on costs for patients and increasing day-to-day operating efficiencies for health providers. The service can be activated when visiting an Afya Moja affiliated facility and following the simple instructions. Simply dial *552# to activate your profile and start your journey toward improved healthcare today.
All right, there you have it, how to sign up for Afya Moja. Of course, we are starting with the pilot phase in Nakuru with the hospitals that were mentioned before rolling it out to other counties and countrywide. Before we go into the Q&A session, I've seen a few questions actually have been answered already by some of the panelists. I see Steve Wanye has answered some questions on the question and answer platform, so you can go ahead and see some of those answers, but we will sort of address the questions that have been repeated, and I'll ask Steve to be on standby to again reiterate his response, the response that he has given, and Benjamin Mackay as well from Safaricom, I see, he's also answered some questions. So I'll ask the gentleman to be on standby to just reiterate some of those responses that they've given. Before we do that, I want to give you a chance to win some airtime. As you know, this is Safaricom, and we can't have a virtual event without giving you a chance to walk away with some airtime. And we'll do this through a digital interactive game called Kahoot. So let me take you through how it works. Once you log on to kahoot.it, we'll give you the login details, the website, and you'll be asked to put a game pin, which will be displayed on screen. And once you're in, you'll be asked to sign up with your name. Okay, I hope we're together until there. So once you've signed up, we'll be asking a series of multiple choice questions, all related to health. The trick is to select the correct answers as quickly as possible. You will have 20 seconds to answer each question, but the faster you do it, the higher your scores and the higher your chances of winning the airtime. So once again, once you log on to Kahoot, enter the game pin, enter your name, and then once the questions start, you'll have 20 seconds to answer each question, and the faster you do it, the better. Speed and accuracy is the trick with this game. As far as the winning, as far as the airtime amounts are concerned, we will be awarding the top three finishers with airtime worth 5,000 for number 1, 3,000 for number 2, and 2,000 shillings airtime for number 3. So a total of 10,000 shillings worth of airtime to be given out. So I hope the instructions are clear. Let's do this. I'll ask my colleagues to display the web page and the game pin. So on screen, you will see that you need to join at www.kahoot.it. www.kahoot.it is the web page, and the game pin as shown on screen is 607-8783. Once you join, do put in your name. It will ask you for a name once you put in the pin. So log on to www.kahoot.it. 607-8783 is a game pin. I see some guys have already joined. I see Jomo, George, it's Murumba, and D. So let's log into www.kahoot.it and get a chance to win some airtime. As I said, we are giving away 10,000 shillings worth of airtime, 5,000 to the top finisher, 3,000 to number 2, and 2,000 to number 3. And the trick of the game is speed and accuracy. So the faster you answer the question and the more questions you get correct, the higher chances of winning the airtime. And you are scored against how fast you answer the question and how accurate your response is. So just give a few more seconds for more of us to join. So we give as many people the opportunity to walk away, to stand a chance to walk away. Give maybe 2 more seconds. Once we reach 60 players, we can start. I think we are there. So let's kick off. So remember, speed and accuracy as you answer the question. All right. So there are a series of questions, and I'll ask my colleagues to start off the Kahoot session and see who will walk away with this airtime. All right. So remember to answer as many questions as you can correctly and as quickly as you can for each of the questions that come up. All right, so the first question, calcium is needed to keep bones strong. Which vegetable contains a significant amount of calcium? And you'll see the choices there. Is it squash? Is it sweet potato? Is it broccoli? And is it onions, green onions? All right, calcium is needed to keep bones strong. Which vegetable contains a significant amount of calcium? You have the 4 choices there. You have 3 seconds to choose the correct answer. And the correct answer is broccoli, and 18 of you got that absolutely correct. All right. We can quickly see the leaderboard. Mukiri is leading in there. How many chambers does a human heart have? That's the second question. How many chambers does a human heart have? I think the doctors should have been eliminated from participating in this. Some of these questions are too easy for them. For some of us, we need to go back to our biology lessons to remember how many chambers a human heart has. Is it 3, 2, 5, or 4? All right. The correct answer is 4, and 45 of you got that correct. We can quickly look at who's leading before we go to the next question. Mukiri is leading, followed by Mbogi Genje and Vaccine. All right. The next question. Which blood type is known or considered as the universal donor? Which blood type is known or considered as the universal donor? Is it O negative, A, B negative, B positive, or O positive? Which blood type is known or considered as the universal donor? All right, 3 seconds to choose your answer. And the answer is O negative. So 18 of you got that correct. Okay, let's see the leaderboard. Is it Mukir? Frank is now leading, followed by Amolo and Skita. All right, so let's go to the next question. Which area of the body has the largest bone? Which area of the body has the largest bone? Is it the shin bone, thigh bone, lower leg, or upper arm? Which area of the body has the largest bone? Is it the shin bone, thigh bone, lower leg, or upper arm? 5 more seconds. All right, let's see what the correct answer is. It is the thigh bone, and 37 of you got that absolutely correct. Let's see what the leaderboard looks like now. Is it Frank still leading? No, Mukiri is back in the lead. Amolo and Frank are number 2 and 3. There's a Dr. Dre who's at number 4. All right, so let's go to the next question. to the fifth question. What is Nakuru's county code? Nakuru is, of course, the first county to be piloting this Afya Moja platform. What is the county code for Nakuru? Is it 32, 45, 19, or 23? 32, 45, 19, or 23? The correct answer in 210 is 32, and 25 of you got that correct. All right, let's see what the leaderboard looks like now. Seems like Mukiri is still leading. Frank is number 2. D has emerged at number 3 now, followed by Richard and Amolo. Let's go to the sixth question. What is the USSD code to dial to access Afya Moja services? What USSD code do you dial to access Afya Moja services? Is it *111#? Is it 544#? Is it 512#? Or is it 552#? The USSD code to dial to access the Afya Moja services. The correct answer is, of course, *552#, and 40 of you have gotten that correct. Good to see that majority of you are paying attention. Mukiri is still leading. Amolo and Richard number 2 and 3. Dr. Dre is back at 4th. And El Kimoto has joined the top 5. All right. Second last question. Which SDG goal promotes healthy lives and well-being? Which SDG goal promotes healthy lives and well-being? Is it SDG 17? Is it SDG 3? Is it SDG 15? Or is it SDG 10? Which of those promotes healthy lives and well-being? All right, the correct answer is SDG 3, and 38 of you got that absolutely correct. Okay, Mukiri is still leading. Richard and Dr. Dre are completing the top 3. El Kimoto has shot up to number 4, and Skita is now at number 5. The last question, let's see if Mukiri will be toppled. The last question, which of the following is not a non-communicable disease? Which of the following is not a non-communicable disease? Is it diabetes, cardiovascular disease, influenza, or cancer? Which of those is not a non-communicable disease? And the correct answer is, of course, influenza, and 30 of you got that correct. All right, let's see the final podium finish. At number 3 is Dr. Dre. Well done, Dr. Dre. At number 2, Richard. And at number 1 is Mukiri, I believe, is it? Yes, Mukiri finished top. So congratulations, Mukiri, for emerging top on that Kahoot trivia. Now, just to explain how you'll get your airtime, please take a screenshot before you close that page. Take a screenshot of that page that has clearly shown your position and save it. If you're on Zoom, go ahead and send us your details, including phone number on chat, but please select only myself, Brian Wesonga, or panelists, so that we are not sending your number to everyone. Just select myself, Brian Wesonga, look for me among the panelists, or select panelists, and then enter your name and phone number. And for those, if you happen to be on YouTube and you're among the top 3, what we'll ask you to do is to send us a direct message via Twitter, with the hashtag Afya Moja. Our Twitter page is Safaricom PLC. Don't post a tweet, send us a direct message on Twitter with the hashtag Afya Moja. If you're not on Twitter, please find someone who's on Twitter and ask them to send a message for you, but make sure the details that they put are your details as the winner, and then we will reach out to you with your airtime. Remember to save that screenshot that shows which position you finish, so that you can show proof before we send you your airtime. All right, like I said, we will go into the Q&A, and a lot of the questions have been addressed, but there have been quite a number of questions that I've seen around privacy and customer data and patient data. And I just want Steve Wanye, I know you had already responded to some of these questions around privacy and customer data and patient data. I just want you to reiterate and maybe talk about that particular concern.
Thank you very much, Brian. Yes, there's a couple of questions that have been asked about privacy, security, and confidentiality. Definitely these are really valid questions. I think we all know as much as data is very powerful, and we actually really need to access the data and share it. We also know that it can also be very dangerous for many reasons. To a point where it can even cause harm to individuals who own those data. So part of the answer that we provided is that we're very aware about the regulations, about the legal frameworks that have been set out primarily by government of Kenya, because we are obviously working within this country, and so we have studied that. We have been well informed and educated by legal experts. Looking at legal provisions such as the Data Protection Act. There are very many other acts in our constitution, also in policies, both especially at Ministry of Health. Ministry of ICT as well. So we've studied all those and we've been well advised in terms of how do we apply those in technology design and architecture of Afya Moja. Besides that, we've also looked at international best practices, looked at what WHO has set out, the new Department for Digital Health there at WHO, who most of us work with very closely within the consortium. We have looked at what other partners, for example, USAID, CDC, European Union through the different frameworks that are applicable to us work. So we have taken every extent of protecting the data as much as we can. And I would say lastly that working with Safaricom, who obviously have a lot of experience in this area developing consumer products, we've also benefited a lot from what they've done in the past. I mean, I think just as health data is very sensitive, there's financial information is also very sensitive, and Safaricom has successfully been able to protect their consumer financial information, for example, through M-Pesa and many other products. So we're very confident, and of course, it's an ongoing process to strengthen that. Thanks, Brian.
Thank you, Steve. I also like to bring in a Safaricom voice in this to talk about the patient data. And we have the Senior Manager for Technology for Development, Benjamin Mackay. Benjamin, if you can just maybe add to what Steve has already talked about.
Yeah, thank you, Brian. So privacy is very crucial to us as an organization, and we hold the information which belongs to our customers very dear. And one of the key things is that to ensure that we conform to all laid down procedures and ensure that customers, rather the patients, are the one opting in for this particular service. So by doing so, they are giving you the consent to, they give you the consent, and they also have the option to opt out as far as this particular service is concerned. So as a pilot, we are also exploring all the best practices and ensuring that we conform to them. And we will keep on iterating as we progress. Innovations are all about sort of like exploring the best ways to sort out an issue, which is a societal issues, and find a middle ground in between without any compromise. So we are committed to that, and we will be working with all the relevant authorities, teams, internal teams, and even external teams to ensure that conformity takes the center stage as far as the privacy and confidentiality of patient information is concerned. Thank you.
Thank you, Benjamin. Willie from GSMA, I think, can also chip in regarding this privacy issue, so we make sure we just address all the pain points that are being asked by the audience. Willie?
Thank you, Brian. Yes, indeed, privacy is a core concern and one of the most important things. As has been mentioned before, with regard to individual data, consent is key, and seeing that the platform is designed around patient consent is reassuring, because you cannot access patient information without the patient knowing and without the patient providing the one-time password that is required for access. So that's one of the most key things about digital identity, is being able to be part of the process of your data and information. So patients will be required to consent for that information to be accessed. I think I've seen a question here around when health providers sign up to the application. There is a vetting process that's been put in place. So if someone is trying to subscribe to the platform, there'll be a vetting process, including looking at the licensing as a health practitioner, and so on and so forth, before one can be able to access the platform. For those who will be integrating, such as Nakuru County, that will be inherent with already what is provided within the county EMR. So the various access levels that are built into the county EMR will also determine what kind of information is accessible on Afya Moja for those particular practitioners. But as mentioned before, even anyone with access to Afya Moja cannot view patient information without the patient consenting. So I think building the platform around the patient and patient consent introduces a significant level of privacy, so that it is the patient who decides who to share the information with. And the power of that is, for example, if you're treated in, say, Nakuru County and information is available on Afya Moja, and you travel to Mombasa for holiday and you fall sick, when you visit the doctor in Mombasa and Afya Moja is available, they can request for your information, but then you'd have to give the consent. And at that point, the particular doctor will be able to view your patient history and be able to provide additional diagnosis. So patient consent is a very core part of privacy on this platform. Thank you, Brian.
All right, thank you, Willie. I think a very comprehensive response to the issue around privacy and patient data. I think the other question that I've seen that has come up is maybe the rollout plan and maybe why Nakuru County was selected as the first to pilot this solution. I think Benjamin had responded, but Benjamin, maybe you just want to sort of reiterate again the response you had given, and maybe talk about also what the rollout plan is.
Sure, thank you, Brian. So Nakuru County is highlighted by the chief, is that they had already some systems which are already in place, and it was the ideal place to validate the assumptions. But we've also been in conversation with other counties, and actually we are currently running parallel pilot with facility in Westlands, which is within Nairobi County. So our plan is to draw lessons, learn from whatever you're going to do in Nakuru, and by the time we are rolling it out in other counties, it will be more solid and a product which some iterations will have taken place. I've seen a number of questions coming from the stakeholders here about elements of integrating with other systems. The reason why we are doing the pilot is to explore those opportunities, and as we progress, it's a pilot. We will keep on enriching the pilot. We will keep on looking at all the opportunities which makes it more ideal in serving the needs of our patients and customers in general, and we are open to that. The roadmap is clearly engaging as many counties as possible once we are done with the validations within Nakuru County, and we shall be sharing that as we progress. Partnerships are highly encouraged, and we are welcoming anybody who feels that there is a way we can synergize to come on board and see how we can make the difference together. Thank you.
Thank you, Benjamin. I don't know if you want to add anything, Steve, and as you do that, there's a question here around how doctors can contribute to the creation of the AI necessary to incrementally build the algorithm to drive the clinical decision support. So I think the question is around what role doctors can play in putting together a solution or improving it even further. And maybe if you have anything to add around what Benjamin has said about Nakuru County and the rollout for Afya Moja.
Thanks a lot, Brian. I think just a slight addition to what Benjamin has mentioned. I think he has underscored the importance of partnership. So with regards to the rollout plan, I don't have much more to add. But just having to emphasize that we're definitely doing this organically. We have a very clear plan in terms of outreach. Engaging counties, and as mentioned, we already have a footprint in the Nairobi Metropolitan Services. We're doing some work there, and of course, through Safaricom, through the Afya Moja Consortium partners, we're also engaging other counties. And the importance of the reason why we're doing this slowly and deliberately is that it's very critical to have the right engagement from the onset and ensure that we share the same vision. So once we achieve that, then it's a lot easier to implement. So that's what we're doing, and therefore the reason we've come this far with Nakuru County is because we took quite a bit of time to have that correct engagement. But besides that, the other thing that we're doing that I think also very important is Benjamin mentioned about interoperability. So for instance, in Nakuru County, as the Nakuru County leadership mentioned, they've been very, very deliberate about ensuring that we engage within their ecosystem and within and also with the other partners. Specifically, we know that USAID is supporting them a lot. We are familiar with the systems that are being implemented by Nakuru County partners, for example, University of Nairobi Health IT, that is USAID funded. And so in the background, we are actively engaging them and connecting Afya Moja to, for example, Kenya EMR, which was a question asked earlier. So that is work that is ongoing. So we are really covering all the bases. So for us, partnership is not just the boardroom discussions, but we have different strategies and efforts that are coming together in that perspective. To the question about artificial intelligence, really great question from Dr. Osum and also from Professor Agasha. Yes, we have that as part of the design thinking. Again, I have to mention that we're very grateful to work with Safaricom, who obviously have a very elaborate team and infrastructure on data science, which is really where that fits in. And with the plenty of experience they have, and also with the experience that Savannah Informatics in Telesoft has had, both in terms of the work we've done in the past, but also working with other international organizations. That's something we have incorporated in our underlying design. And yes, we deliberately work on ensuring that the different users contribute in a meaningful way to developing that functionality. So for instance, if it's medical doctors and other clinicians, nurses, clinical officers, to the extent that they require this Afya Moja to serve them to make better clinical decisions, whatever power of technology and data we need to bring together, and whatever role that they need to play, we've planned for that very deliberately. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Steve. There are a couple of questions here around database and registries. One is from Frederick Onyanga, who asks, first he says it's a wonderful initiative. This is Frederick, and he says, are there any plans towards linking the app or the platform to some sort of a health provider registry for authentication? And sort of related to that question is a question from Wandera on the chat, who asks whether there will be a database where summaries can be generated for reporting purposes. So I think registry and databases around how Afya Moja then plays into this space. I don't know if Steve or Willie, one of you can take that one.
I can start and pass over to Willie. So with regards to the to integration and also leveraging on the digital health ecosystem in Kenya, again, as I mentioned earlier, we are also extremely aware about efforts by Ministry of Health. Specifically, we know that the Ministry of Health has rolled out a very elaborate plan called the Kenya Health Enterprise Architecture that spells out the digital health environment in Kenya, the standards that are supposed to be used by digital health solutions such as Afya Moja and others being implemented both in the public and the private health sector. And so we've designed Afya Moja with that knowledge in mind. We also know some of the services that have been rolled out by Ministry of Health. For example, the Kenya Health Master Facility List. We know about the Kenya Health Information System powered by DHIS2. We know about Kenya EMR. We know about Kenya EMR Expanded. So we've definitely built Afya Moja with all that in mind, with the knowledge with the real rich knowledge and intelligence we have about the local digital ecosystem. So yes, the answer to Frederick is yes. We'll take advantage of all the current digital health assets and artifacts that have been rolled out by MOH. And the fact that we're also working closely with MOH from other work we're doing means that we'll continue to evolve and mature with them as the environment evolves. Thank you. Willie?
I mean, well said. The emphasis there is that collaboration is key. Rather than increasing the complexity of services, we simplify them by collaborating with those already in place. I think Steve has already mentioned that Afya Moja is not meant to replace systems, but to work with what is already in place. Whatever is the counties have invested in EMRs will remain. So you don't have to switch on new systems, but rather integrate the system so that the level of service and quality of service can improve. So it's about collaborating, it's about working together with what's already in place to ensure that there is increased impact rather than reinventing the wheel.
Thank you, Willie. Thank you, Steve. Benjamin, a couple of questions for Safaricom. Helen asks whether patients will pay when using this service, and if so, how much? There's also a question about the project costs.
Yeah, thank you, Helen. So thank you, Brian, too. So the cost for accessing for the pilot is 1 shilling per interaction. So we are trying to test that. And we will be redefining that as we progress based on the learnings we are going to pick from the pilot. We may not be in a position to give you the total cost of the whole thing at the moment, but over time, as we share the lessons learned, this being sort of like a collective effort, there has been some support coming from different partners and contribution in different ways. So we might need to consolidate all that and say like, this is the cost of having the pilot or coming up with this particular initiative. So we are happy to share that over time as we progress, and as we also share like the learnings and the iterations we are going to make as we try to enrich the solution. Thank you.
Thanks, Benjamin. Question here from Dorothy. Maybe Steve can take this. First, she says, great job, Afya Moja team, and says health data portability is a huge challenge, especially in the light of mobility and migration. And so the partnership to implement a digital solution is a remarkable step. She asks, is there a plan to share the learning from the pilot phase, particularly with regards to user uptake and any necessary adjustments from the lessons?
Yes, there is, and I'll comment and then pass over to Willie. So, as Benjamin has mentioned, one of the things that we've done is that we have built into the pilot implementation a learning process. So we have we're doing quite a bit of intense implementation science type operational research, and we do intend to share a lot of that. So Willie is coordinating a lot of those activities, and of course working with the entire team. Willie, do you want to provide more details?
Yeah, I mean, we from a GSMA perspective, being able to establish learnings from this and establish how this is not only replicable but delivering the expected impact is important. So we continue to support the project, and we'll be looking at how we can do an evaluation to see that what is promised, or the promise of the platform, is actually being delivered or experienced both by the medical field as well as the patients. And that will also help to inform paths to scale. So it's about learning as much as possible so that scaling up is more effective, more efficient, and also scaling up with the patient in mind. The platform needs to be able to deliver value for the patient, being the owner of the data. So ensuring that is being experienced by the patient will be important going forward. So at scale, we know it's delivering maximum value for the patients and the health ecosystem altogether.
All right, thank you, Willie. One more question here from Edwin around whether the pilot is happening in both public hospitals and private hospitals, or it's just happening in one of them. And then whether the hospitals participating have an EMR running in the facility. I think Willie had responded to that question around EMR, but is that question around which type of hospital pilot is being driven in?
So I can respond to that. Yeah, so for the pilot phase, we'll be targeting both public and private health facilities. The public, as this launch shows, is in Nakuru County. I have welcomed Afya Moja. And so from select facilities in Nakuru County, the service will be available. But also the consortium of partners is looking at a few other private actors so that we can demonstrate the portability of data across public and private in the interest of the patient. So that will become available over time. As was mentioned, we've already had some engagement in Nairobi Metropolitan Services, and we plan to make that available also in Nairobi in several facilities. The point being to scale gradually so that we ensure that the service is delivering on value. I already answered on that, but yes, EMRs are critical to digitizing of records and to digitizing of the patient, what I call the digital patient. So having an EMR in place is important, and the Afya Moja Consortium is working towards interoperability or integration with existing EMRs. As we mentioned, it's important that county investments are preserved, and then once that's in place, any remote facilities may be able to use the app that has been developed to ensure that patient information is available. So yes, EMRs are critical, but we are aware that government and various county governments have invested significantly in implementing EMRs. So Afya Moja is coming to support that initiative by enabling that portability of data in a secure manner for the benefit of the patient.
All right, thanks, Willie. Wandera has a question which I quite can't understand. So Wandera, if you're listening, please post your question again because it's not too clear. It asks about a solution to PT unique identifier in this. Could you share? Please post it again so we can try and respond. But Chris has asked whether we can repeat the hospital that Afya Moja will be availed. Chris, I can post that. I'll just type it on the answer because I have that list of hospitals. So I'll just post that in a moment. Luke again asks around data, saying it's a good software that will address the challenges faced in managing patients' data. His concern is who owns the data managed in the solutions. Steve, you want to once again take? I know it's a question that has been repeated over and over, but clearly a concern. And I think we just need to make the audience comfortable. You want to address this one once again, Steve?
Yeah, sure. I can attempt, but I think probably Benjamin and Willie are better suited. I mean, our reference is really the legal framework. All the time, we're referencing the legal. I mean, because we obviously want to make sure that we're doing right by the law. But additionally, we obviously are making very strong considerations about healthcare, about the value that Afya Moja is going to bring to the healthcare system. And so for that purpose, I mean, I think going back to the discussions we had about striking a balance between protecting patient privacy, their safety, their confidentiality, but at the same time also complying to the law. It's an ongoing balance that we are making. But at any one time, we're very clear that we need to abide by the laws of the land. But I'll pass over to Benjamin to add on to that.
Sure, I think you've nailed it. And what I want to say is that the patient owns the data. The data belongs to the patient, and they have the power to ensure that somebody accesses the data or not. When it comes to the system being hacked and all the measures have been put into perspective, and they will keep on working on that. Safaricom has already invested a lot in that in terms of ensuring that confidentiality, privacy of our customers' data is never compromised. We want to leverage on that to those skills, the experience, and work closely with our colleagues to help us understand the best ways of ensuring such breaches don't occur. So it's a concern, but we are trying to look at the benefit which outweighs some of those concerns and say that yeah, let's put our house in order, and let's ensure that we have the best sort of like security measures in place, which don't bring issues to do with us not adhering to the laid down procedures or ways of accessing patients' information. So we will leverage on that. We will leverage on whatever already exists. We will keep on learning, and we will keep on implementing those mechanisms to ensure that such events don't occur. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Benjamin. I think also that also addresses Helen's question around data security. Say someone hacks the system. I think Benjamin's response also addresses that concern. Going back to Wandera's question on unique identifiers for patients. Still not clear. How have you find? Or I think the question is, have you found a solution for unique identifiers for patients? I don't know whether Willie or Steve, you make anything out of that question.
Yes, I can attempt to respond to that. The issue of unique patient identification, of course, is one that has existed for a long time. A lot of people have systems out there. Each of them has come up with a unique way of identifying the patient. And in Kenya, we have multiple forms of ID. So even using those multiple forms of ID could result in duplication of patient records. If I visit with my passport, then I visit again with my national ID, then there's a potential for that. But I think even from a GSM perspective, we recognize that the most authoritative identifies that is a government issued ID. And in the mobile space, especially in Kenya, the mobile number is linked very tightly with a national ID. So the national ID and later on Huduma number that the government is rolling out are very critical parts of identification. What the mobile number just enables is being able to identify yourself in a digital space. Because as I'd mentioned earlier, we've seen a lot of services, whether it's banking services and other financial services, will send you a one-time password in order to be able to access sensitive information. And so relying on the mobile number in the digital space is heavily linked to the fact that the mobile number is also significantly linked to the national ID. And I believe government plays a key role in terms of ensuring access to identity for citizens, but also mobile operators have invested heavily in ensuring that their mobile numbers are uniquely linked to a national ID. So it is what we would call a functional ID, meaning it depends on the national ID, but can be utilized in a digital space. So that's what the mobile number does in this case for Afya Moja. But national ID remains important and a very significant part of patient identification.
Thanks, Willie. A couple of follow-up questions around that and the issue of mobile phone numbers. And I think maybe even Benjamin and Steve can pitch in this one. There are questions from Peter and I think Remo around what if someone loses their mobile number or changes their phone rather, as is typical of Kenyans who have multiple numbers, how will that issue be addressed?
Yeah, I'll check that. And one of the key requirements as a KYC, or rather know your customer, for anybody purchasing Safaricom card or SIM card, they have to be registered and they have to either give a non-mobile number, a national ID, so that that number is uniquely tied to that number. So I've noted that we wouldn't say like mobile numbers are unique identifiers per se, but partially they are tied to a unique identifier, which is recognized by the government of Kenya, which is an ID. So we tend to assume even circumstances where you change your phone, as you register the new SIM card or the new number, you'll be required to provide them either national ID or a passport. So that addresses most of those concerns. So in this case, you realize that ID still remains the predominant identification way for anybody within the environment which we operate.
All right, thank you, Benjamin. I don't know whether any of the other gentlemen have anything to add to that response around mobile numbers.
Yeah, I could add, I think in addition to what Benjamin and William mentioned, and also responding to Celia's question about children and all, I think the one of the messages that we've passed on consistently today and in other forums is that Afya Moja is coming in to build on what's been done. So for example, I think as Benjamin has mentioned, digital ID, whether it's through whether it's through the phone number, or mobile subscriber-based identification is just one part of an identifier. But you know that the official identifiers, that's one. So we're basically building on those ones. We also know, for example, in health service delivery, there are service IDs. So for example, the HIV program has a service ID for their patients, TB and all that. So we are well aware about that. And so ID is not just about one data element or one attribute. It's really a collection of many things. So we are cognizant of that fact in terms of service delivery. But at the same time, we also know that there's a lot of research and innovation going on, for example, in biometrics. And so we are very tuned into that as well. And as Afya Moja, we are doing a lot of research in that. We are sandboxing and testing out how can we identify patients while protecting them and complying with the law, so that most importantly, they can access and use healthcare effectively and affordably. So that's really how we're approaching that topic more broadly. Thank you.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. I think with that, we can bring the Q&A session to an end. But clearly from the number of questions and the comments that have come up with clearly solution that will be received with a lot of interest, and we look forward to seeing how the pilot goes in Nakuru. Before we get some closing remarks from Benjamin, we'll just do a quick feedback session, and just like the game we played on Kahoot, it's a digital feedback form. So log on to menti.com and put on the code on screen. For this one, you don't need to put in your name because it is anonymous. So I'll ask you to log on to www.menti.com. The code is on screen, 45412131. That's www.menti.com. Put the code 45412131. We'll just do a short feedback session just to see some of the things that we have taken out of this session. So that's www.menti.com. Use Chrome for a better experience. And the code is as shown on screen. All right, so the first question is, what additional features would you like to see in Afya Moja that will add value to the platform? Any additional features that you like to see in Afya Moja that will add value to the platform? I can see a few responses: biometrics and health insights. So just keep typing them in. We are taking this feedback at the back end, and we'll pass it over to the Afya Moja Consortium, just so that they can see as they iterate and improve the systems, what are some of the things that you want to see. I can see online medical services, health insights, telehealth capabilities, and biometrics. Some of the things that you want to see: integration to regulators as well, merge with exercise data. So those are some of the features that you want to see on Afya Moja. I can see teleconsultation as well as one thing that's coming up. I can see online medical services again, merge with exercise data, as I mentioned, nutrition recommendations, USSD for quick solutions, who has used my record. All right, so we can go to the next question, but just keep typing them in as you think about them, as you think about the additional features you'd like to see. On a scale of 1 to 10, how ready are you to sign up for Afya Moja? 1 being not ready and 10 being very ready. So on a scale of 1 to 10, it's 1 to 5 actually, right? 1 to 5, sorry. 1 to 5. So on a scale of 1 to 5, how ready are you to sign up for Afya Moja? 1 being not ready and 5 being very ready. So the scale is 1 to 5 and not 1 to 10 as we had indicated there. It's 1 to 5. So I can see an average of about 4.2. So that's good. At least a lot of us seem to be ready to sign up for Afya Moja and to test it out and to try it out and see what it has to offer. And for those in Nakuru, please do so. Sign up and give us feedback. Give the team feedback on how they can improve it. So on a scale of 1 to 5, how ready are you to sign up for Afya Moja? The average score there is about 4.1 for those who are ready to sign up for Afya Moja. Okay, with that, I'll bring in Benjamin to give us some closing remarks and vote of thanks. Benjamin, like I mentioned, is a senior manager for technology for development, and he is the one who leads the team actually that partnered with the other partners in the consortium to come up with a solution. So Benjamin, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Brian. And for me, it's just to start by saying thank you very much. And I will start by saying it's a journey which began some years back. It's a conversation which we started with the GSMA and to our partners and everybody else. Thank you so much. Safaricom believes in partnership. Goal number 17 calls for us to partner. And as we do partnership, we do it to create value together. And that's what I call 1 + 1 = 3. We leverage on each other to ensure that we create more value, and this value accrues to the societies we serve. I also think of it as an opportunity whereby we make 1 + 1 = 1, in the sense that these are 2 different organizations which are brought together by a mutual interest to serve the society, and they manage the whole initiative as if they are one. And finally, in partnership, it's all about sharing what comes out of it. We are creating this so that it can be a sustainable initiative, which not only solves a societal issue, but which also makes some commercial sense. Going back to Safaricom, to the management, the leadership team of Safaricom, thank you so much, Karen, Steve, for your support and ensuring that the team has all the resources which will enable them validate these assumptions, forge these partnerships, and ensure that we sort out some of these, or rather try to address some of these societal issues, leveraging on the assets which we have at Safaricom, which is technology. To our events team, I want to say thank you so much to all of you for making this virtual event. We are living in a new norm, and without you and without the effort of coordinated effort of the whole team, I mean, this might have been a challenge, but we want to say a great thank you so much. To our own MC, Brian, thank you for always making it happen. I mean, we are partners in this, and we do appreciate your contribution and your support and steer on the same. And finally, I want to thank the team which is responsible for this. I can't forget to mention Ida, Violet, and Kennedy, who have ensured that this solution is up and running and is successful. And finally, to all the participants, I want to thank you for taking your time to be a part of this. And we are calling you to, we are looking forward to you to be the ambassadors of the solution. This is a true reflection of the spirit of Safaricom. I mean, kukiuka, I mean, we want to go beyond, and we are looking forward to whatever you are doing. And not forgetting to mention actually Nakuru County, because the Nakuru County has also been is very instrumental in helping us validate this assumption and trailblazing the piloting of this particular initiative. So from us and everybody else, I want to say thank you so much. And let's go beyond and let's transform lives of our people and Kenyans in general. Thank you. Over to you, Brian.
Thank you very much, Benjamin, for those kind words and vote of thanks. Just a reminder to all the media who joined as well. Asante sana for joining. We will be sending out a release with details. Also, for anyone who you think will benefit from this session, you can direct them to our Safaricom YouTube page. The session was recorded and they can view it again there. And if you want to view it again as well, you can view it from our Safaricom YouTube page. I've also seen a last question around whether there's a demo. We will be posting the videos that we had shown earlier with the demo on how to sign up if you're a patient and how to sign up if you're a doctor. We'll be posting those up on our Safaricom YouTube pages as well. All right, thank you to all the participants for making time. Thank you to all our panelists and speakers. Wishing you all a lovely day ahead. Asanteni sana.
Miaka 20 safari